Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Fritz von Burg.
Number 2.
My name is Fritz von Burg.
And number 3.
My name is Fritz von Burg.
All right, panel, once again, you may open your envelopes, if you would, please, and follow along as I read. I, Fritz von Burg, have been a hairdresser, a construction worker, a political candidate, and the owner of a fast food restaurant featuring peanut butter pizzas. Now, at age 50, I am a college sophomore and play on the varsity football team. Naturally, it is physically very tough. During one game, a lineman looked over at me and said, "Sorry, Pops, but I gotta do this," and knocked me flat. Appropriately enough, my number is 50. There are thousands of frustrated people eating their hearts out because they haven't done all the things they wanted to do in their lives. I do not plan to be one of them. Signed, Fritz von Burg. Panel, these three gentlemen all claim to be 50-year-old college football player Fritz von Burg. Let's start the questioning with Soupy.
Thank you, Robin. I find this very fascinating. Number 1, what college do you play on?
Vero Beach Community College in Florida.
In Florida? Number 2, where do you play?
Western Maryland State Teachers College in Westminster.
And number 3, where do you play?
Monterey Peninsula Junior College in California.
Number 1, are you married?
Yes, I am.
Do you have children?
Yes, I do.
How old are your children?
My boy is 9.
What does he think about you playing?
Thinks I'm a little crazy.
Number 2, do you have any aspirations to play pro ball?
I haven't thought about it too much today, no, sir.
Number 3, how many games have you played in?
I've played in 4 of them.
What position do you play, number 1?
I'm a sidewinder.
A sidewinder? I thought it was a snake.
Soccer-style football kicker.
Oh, is that right?
And we go to Marianne.
Contestant number 2, what is weaving?
Weaving was in the backfield. Men go back and forth, try to keep the offensive ends from knowing which way the pass is going to be thrown.
Contestant number 3, what is your opinion of weaving?
I don't know what it means.
I see.
Defensive men aren't interested in what offensive men do. We just wipe them out, that's all. We don't care what they do.
I see. Contestant number 2, what office did you run for when you were a political candidate?
Mayor of Sykesville, Maryland.
And were you successful?
No, ma'am.
And we go to John Wade.
Okay, number 2, I don't think Soupy asked you, what position do you play?
I play guard or tackle, depending on who's hurt.
Okay, number 3, what position do you play?
I play nose guard or tackle, depending on what they want to do, plug me in.
Okay, when we say nose guard, what do you mean?
Nose guard is right over the center. You kind of intimidate them.
Okay, number 3, who's one of the great nose guards in professional football retired?
I don't know.
Okay, number 1, can you answer that?
No, I can't.
Okay, since you're a soccer-style kicker, who's one of the great soccer-style kickers?
George Bland would probably be the greatest one.
Okay, who was the first?
George, I think, excuse me, the soccer-style kicker?
Yes, soccer-style.
Peter Gogolak would be one of the great soccer styles, but Bland was the greatest field goal.
Okay, number 2, you said you play that when someone else is hurt. What are some injuries you've had?
I lost a tooth around 3 weeks ago.
Okay, did you...
And we go to Peggy.
Number 1, did you succeed selling peanut butter pizzas?
Not really.
I mean, was there any call for them, really?
It's crazy when you're a kid and you get creative ideas.
Oh, this was a long time ago, the peanut butter pizza.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Number 2, what's the difference between a red dog and a blitz?
The blitz is when all the men go from the back, go forward, and to try to go after the quarterback.
And number 2, what's red dog?
Red dog is where a couple men are assigned to red dog the quarterback.
Thank you. Number 1, why does the center wear a little towel?
So the quarterback can wipe his hands.
Is that why they wear it? Looks. Another thing, number 2, why do football players always pat one another on the fanny?
I haven't the slightest idea. I don't do it. I'm too old for that.
Very good. Time now, panel, to vote for number 1, for number 2, or for number 3. Whoever, in your opinion, is the real Fritz von Burg. Are the ballots all marked, panel? Soupy, who'd you vote for?
I think they were all marvelous, and I'd like them on my team. But I think it's number 1.
Okay, it's a vote for 1. And Marianne?
Well, I'm a little perplexed because they were all supposed to be hairdressers, and weaving is a common phrase in tinning the hair and streaking it, and no one seemed to know what weaving was. But I thought they were all great, and I think probably it's number 1.
Okay, and John?
Well, I'm also tempted to vote for number 1. He seems like an adventuresome sort. But number 3, he said he played at Monterey Peninsula College, and I grew up near there, and it sounds something crazy that would happen around Central California. So I voted for number 3.
Okay, and Peg, who got your vote?
Number 1, I don't believe believe he could be a Hungarian-style soccer kicker. He's an American. So I didn't vote for him. And number 2, I think they got you because you're so big and you look like a football player, but I thought it was number 3.
Okay, the votes are all in. Now we're going to find out which of these gentlemen is our college footballer. Will the real Fritz von Burg please stand up?
Know where Hollister is.
Before we talk to Fritz, let's find out who our imposters are. Number 1, you got yourself 2 votes. Would you tell us, please, who you are and what you do?
I'm Billy Frost, and I'm social director at the Fernwood Resort in the beautiful Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania.
And number 2, I can see from looking at you, you don't get no respect. Isn't that right? Would you tell us, please, who you are?
I've heard that before. Yeah. My name is Gordon Matalonis. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm the president of an industrial supply firm called Bisco Incorporated.
Fantastic. Fritz, I think what you're doing is absolutely incredible. You're 50 years old. You're playing with 19-year-old kids, and you're playing a credible game of football. We have some film of you playing and getting wiped out, I believe. If you watch your monitor down here, would you tell us what's happening?
This is one of the first practice games it was on a Saturday night, and I think we're leading about 35-0. And that's usually when I get to. I'm a fourth quarter specialist. I buy beer wholesale after the game. So anyway, I think just by coincidence I got in on this tackle. I just followed the guy. He ran by me and I followed him. But the next play, they made a 12-yard touchdown run, which was embarrassing. You didn't see that part. They cut it out.
That's good. Fantastic. Fritz, it's remarkable you're playing ball, but you're at college for another reason, I understand. What exactly are you studying?
I only did this because I needed something to do for exercise, but I actually go there I've been writing letters to the editor for 10 years, and I've written over 100 letters, and so some people felt that I wasn't too coherent, so I decided to go back to school to find out how to organize my thinking, because people kind of like what I have to say.
Well, I think you're very coherent, and I think your philosophy is marvelous, and we wish you continued success on and off the field. Gentlemen, there were 2 incorrect votes. You won $200. Thanks for joining us on To Tell the Truth. And 2 of you don't go away. We'll see you on One-on-One. Thank you, gentlemen. And we'll be back with more right after these messages.